Okay, so I've been reviewing things for quite a while. Projectors is one of those many things that I review, and I feel like I'm getting to a point in my reviews now where I can just be quite relaxed and honest with you guys. I feel like you appreciate that more, and I feel like it just sort of makes the viewing experience a bit better for you as well. Now this video is about the Xgimi Elfin Flip that you can see just here, and it's quite a neat little projector, and I feel like for a lot of people it's exactly what you need, and I also think for a lot of people it really isn't what you need. What I'm not going to do is just completely stat dump you and just give you all of the exact specifications and the color values and all this stuff, because I just feel like that's not exactly helpful at a consumer level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little brief stat dump. Now, Xgimi sent me this projector to review, and I was very happy to do so because I love Xgimi. Particularly one of my favourites was their Horizon Pro. That projector is one of my favourite projectors of all time. Not necessarily the most colour accurate one in the world, but it looks fantastic, really sort of easy to use. So I was really excited for this one because this is a similar concept, but it's just a much more sort of smaller budget version of that kind of projector. It's obviously a lot more affordable because it's for an entirely different purpose. This isn't your sort of high-end cinema style projector, like you want a really amazing quality top-end projector for your home cinema. This isn't that. This is a very convenient, easy to use projector for quickly sticking on videos, a little Netflix show for your kids, PowerPoint presentations, showing some people some photos, doing something sort of fairly sort of low-key in a dark space will work very, very well. And it obviously does have some limitations because it is so affordable. If you're buying a projector for, at the moment in the UK, less than £300, you've got to expect that you're going to be losing something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little brief stat dump, kind of, just to get it out of the way, and then I'm going to go through all the things I love about this projector and the things that you're missing out on if you go for it. So let's quickly go through my stat dump, and I'm gonna basically tell you the things that I feel like you need to know, and skip out some of the things that are sort of just not particularly important. So you're not going to be replacing a lamp on this. It's 25,000 hours or something ridiculous. You'll replace the projector before you have to change the bulb. Changing bulbs on projectors is becoming a thing of the past, I'll be honest. Now this projector does not support 3D. Most projectors do support 3D. Most people will never use a 3D support on a projector. This one doesn't support 3D. Be aware of that. It is a HDR capable projector. It's HDR10. Now I will go on in a minute why I don't necessarily think like that's massively important, but we'll get onto it. Oh, it's got a game mode, an automatic game mode, low latency gaming of 10 milliseconds, which from my experience is it's completely perfectly playable. It's very, very good for games. It's not a pro gaming OLED level, but it's near enough. And ultimately, for what you're going to be using this for and in the areas you're going to be using this for, if you're just quickly sticking on a screen to be able to play some games, this works fantastically well for that. So you're going to be very, very happy. Now this is a 1080p projector, which for most circumstances I think will be fine. It's good enough for most cases. It's not glorious, it's okay. Now in terms of brightness, it is only 400 ISO lumens, which is definitely on the lower side of most projectors. Now it is completely watchable in most scenarios, and in fact I took a video where I put my really bright key light directly behind the projector and shined it at the same wall, and you can still see what's happening on the screen. So it's not terrible, you just miss out a lot of the dark details. 400 ISO lumens is about the same as the Xgimi Mogo 2. It is a bit less than the normal Elfin. Now this projector is very similar to the normal Elfin. Obviously it's more portable than that. Obviously we get onto like the sort of foldability and the maneuverability of it. It's very light, it's not heavy at all. It also does have a little tripod mount on the bottom of this part here, which means you can get this ceiling mounted through that port. You could also get this stood on a tripod if you wanted to do that as well. But it also has these rubber feet, and it is relatively stable. So you can just put this on a coffee table, put it on a side table, put it anywhere really. That's the beauty of it. Now to quickly briefly go over what I love about this projector, it's really small. I mean, like this, it looks like a Wi-Fi router, so you tell me if you think it looks nice or not. I think it looks alright, to be honest, and you can have it sort of out the way. No one really knows what it is, and then when you want to get the projector out, you literally just flip it and you get going. You do need to have power plugged in. It is not a battery operated projector. Please be aware of that. The power cable should be hid quite nicely behind it because it plugs into the bottom, and then as you turn it, you can then press go. Now it has automatic digital keystoning and all that stuff that the Xgimi projectors do really well. It does it by itself. It avoids obstacles on the wall, so if there's things on the wall that might get in the way, it uses this little camera on the front to be able to see that, and it finds itself a perfect little spot on your wall. It gets it completely perfectly keystoned with, you might need to make some very minor adjustments when it does that, and it automatically focuses for you as well. So in terms of actually getting it going, it's super simple. And if you were to pick it up and adjust it or move it around, it will automatically do that keystoning process for you again. So very good. Now, one thing about the design that I'm not the biggest fan of is that when it's in this mode, it's not easy to sort of pick up and move around. So you've got this bit that you can kind of grab, but just sort of that sort of sticks out a bit there. I don't know whether it would have been nicer if they just made that top bit bigger and just covered the whole thing, or made it grippable with like an indent. Super easy to hold like that, but then obviously when you shut it out, I don't know. It's perfectly fine. We do have some limitations when it comes to the ports on this thing. We have on the back only 2 ports. That is a USB port and a HDMI port. So we do just get one HDMI port, not an audio return channel, so there's no way of getting that audio out. There's no jack port or anything like that. So the audio is the audio on this, and the audio it's not amazing. It's okay for certain scenarios. I'll give you the scenarios in which I will be using this projector so you can get an idea of that. USB, that could be for going through photos, different files that you might have on a USB stick, stick them in there like so, particularly easy. In terms of getting this thing updated and stuff like that, it does it all through Wi-Fi, and most of your connections will be on here through Wi-Fi, so that's the best way to do most of that, I would assume. Now, it's Bluetooth 5.1, so you can obviously connect this thing via Bluetooth, and you probably should be able to connect this thing to audio through Bluetooth. So if your sound system does support Bluetooth, then that is going to be an option for you. Now, we've got most of our sort of key facts out the way. I'm going to give you a realistic overview of this. This is the perfect projector for just whipping out very quickly and shining on directly to a wall to be able to play something for your kids, or to be able to quickly show some photos in a nice way, quickly do a presentation. That is what I would say this is good for. If I was to stick it in my kids' bedroom so they can watch a film on it, you can put it down, you can literally point it up like that and have it keystoned onto the ceiling. You can have it pointing at any sort of blank space on the wall, and you can watch something. It's pretty good. The screen sizes on it, I mean, it says between 40 and 200 inches. Honestly, you can actually go a lot smaller than that. The quality's not going to be amazing, but because it's so close, it still looks quite sharp. You can go all the way up to 200 inches. I wouldn't personally recommend that because it's quite dim. So obviously the bigger you're spreading the light out, the dimmer it's going to feel, and obviously if you're using a 200-inch screen, that's going to be very dim. I would say the smaller the screen, probably the better the picture is going to be. So honestly, the Elfin Flip, I think those are the circumstances it's going to be great for. It does an okay job on a big screen. I was watching Rick and Morty in a dark room, and there was bright colours. There's nothing sort of too dark and detailed in that, and it was absolutely fine. Cartoons for your kids, bright airy programs are going to be fine on this. They're going to look perfectly watchable, so you'll be great and happy with that. If you're looking for a really great bright projector for 4K movies and stuff like that, obviously that's not what this is for. It's not going to be the best picture that you're going to get. Color accuracy, again, absolutely fine, but because it's so dim, those aren't really the standards we're hitting for with this projector. This projector is convenient. This projector works really well. A big highlight is this projector works with Netflix. So it comes with Netflix pre-installed, and it has the certification for it, which loads of projectors don't, which means you can watch Netflix shows and all that sort of stuff very quickly and easily on this thing. As long as you can get power to it and you can get a Wi-Fi connection, this is going to be a really great option for you for sort of easy, convenient watching, and it is ultra portable. You need a power cable, and you need the projector. You can store it away really easily. It can stay on a shelf somewhere, and it takes up very little real estate. That being on a shelf is going to be barely noticeable for most people. People will probably think it's your router. Now, I think I've covered the things that are, I would say, are important for this particular type of projector. If you do have more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Stick them in the comments below, and I'll see if I can sort of get back to you on those. But honestly, for a projector that is just super convenient, easy to use, really portable, this is probably going to be a really good option high up there on most people's list. As long as you're not expecting this to be all bells and whistles, super high-end projector, and you're just looking for something nice, easy and convenient, this is going to be the one for you. Guys, I hope you appreciate that honest review. Let me know what you think of this projector in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel for more like this, and I will see you in the next one. Whoop!